Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York. New York Times World News.
May 13th, 5 o'clock America, New York. In South Korea, ghost surgeries lead to cameras in hospitals. After scandals in which doctors let unsupervised assistants operate on patients, the country is becoming one of the first to require cameras in operating rooms. Kookmin Hospital, near Seoul, voluntarily put cameras in its operating rooms in 2020.
New York Times World News.
May 13th, 5 o'clock America, New York. After 200 years of neutrality, Sweden weighs joining NATO. Russia's invasion of Ukraine created new fears, and the Swedes, dragged along by Finland, are expected to apply, reluctantly, to join the alliance in its collective defense.
Mirror World News.
May 13th, 4:42 America, New York. Mysterious secret Russian island that's disappeared from Google Maps. Conspiracy theorists are questioning why a black smudgy mark is being used to censor satellite imagery of a remote icy Arctic enclave that once belonged to the USA.
Mirror World News.
May 13th, 4:05 America, New York. Missing captain rescued after spending nearly 3 days adrift in freezing sea. Stricken skipper Erhan Sekal was found frantically waving his arms after falling overboard off the coast of Bali, Indonesia, and says he can't remember how it happened.
Washington Post World.
May 13th, 3:30 America, New York. Rand Paul, lone Senate holdout, delays vote on Ukraine aid to next week. The $39.8 billion bill will pass despite the Kentucky senator's lone objection, which dampened a bipartisan push.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines. Sky News.
May 13th, 3:18 America, New York. Some World Cup hotels in Qatar refuse to accept same-sex couples. Some World Cup hotels in Qatar have refused to allow same-sex couples to stay, and others have asked customers to avoid public displays of affection, according to an investigation. General view of Doha in Qatar.
New York Times World News.
May 13th, 3:13 America, New York. Russian shipping traffic remains strong as sanctions take time to bite. The traffic was robust in March and April, reflecting the time it takes for sanctions to come into effect and an enduring profit motive for trading Russian energy. Tivos, a cargo ship from Russia, unloaded fertilizer last month at the port of Santos, in São Paulo, Brazil.
WorldCBSNews.com.
May 13th, 3:12 America, New York. North Korea reports 6 deaths from apparent, explosive, COVID outbreak. A large outbreak could be devastating in a country with a broken healthcare system and an unvaccinated, malnourished population.
Washington Post World.
May 13th, 2:34 America, New York. EU envoy to Iran nuclear talks detained at German airport. The European Union's main representative at the nuclear talks with Iran says he was briefly detained with colleagues at Frankfurt Airport, in breach of diplomatic rules.
Washington Post World.
May 13th, 2:24 America, New York. Facility for disabled on Ukraine frontline mulls evacuation. There's dancing in the garden, and ball games.
Time.
May 13th, 2:21 America, New York. Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s vague approach to the Philippine economy is making investors nervous. Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is poised to become the Philippines' next president after taking a massive lead in the May 9 election. Voters, many too young remember, were partly seduced by the 64-year-old's misleading presentation of his late father's dictatorial rule as a halcyon economic age to be revived.
Fox World News.
May 13th, 2:06 America, New York. Ukraine mass graves. Satellite images show Mariupol cemetery expanding as Russian war continues. Casualties of Russia's war in Ukraine emerged in stark relief with a new satellite image from Maxar Technologies, showing the expansion of the Starokrymsky cemetery in Mariupol.
Time.
May 13th, 1:32 America, New York. The window is closing. White House warns U.S. faces new COVID-19 risk without more shots. Washington. AP, White House COVID-19 coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha issued a dire warning Thursday that the U.S. will be increasingly vulnerable to the coronavirus this fall and winter if Congress doesn't swiftly approve new funding for more vaccines and treatments.
Mirror World News.
May 13th, 1:12 America, New York. Doorway spotted on Mars after NASA releases startling new images of red planet. A NASA newly released image taken by its Curiosity rover appears to show a doorway cut into the rock face on Mars, leading to plenty of speculation about what may be behind it.
Time.
May 13. 003 America New York. The problems with Israel's version of the killing of reporter Shireen Abu Akleh. When word got out on Wednesday that esteemed Palestinian-American journalist Shireen Abu Akleh was killed in the West Bank city of Jenin, where Israeli forces has been making military arrest raids, Israel convened its national PR staff to form a plan of action.
https://globalnews.ca/feed/.
May 12. 2245 America New York, Okanagan businesses support Ukraine. The organization is collecting money and supplies to help soldiers and civilians living in the war-ravaged country.
Wall Street Journal World News.
May 12. 2214 America New York, North Korea cites explosive national COVID outbreak, reports first death. North Korea reported its first death from a COVID-19 outbreak that it said for the first time had rapidly spread throughout the country.
Wall Street Journal World News.
May 12. 2200 America New York, boat carrying suspected migrants capsizes near Puerto Rico. A boat loaded with suspected migrants capsized north of an uninhabited island near Puerto Rico, and 11 people had been confirmed dead while 31 others were rescued, authorities said.